Hi, I'm Mascai or Jamie, and I'm reading Homestuck Squared with some of my friends. Everyone say hi.
Hi.
What is up, my dude?
Hello.
And
Good
without
afternoon.
further ado, let us begin.
Somewhere in the distant reaches of space.
Noom.
New.
Noom.
You.
Surprise, bitch. I bet there was a moment just now when you thought to yourself, oh, thank God. Thank the Maker. Thank literally what the hell ever recalcitrant entity was, is now, or perhaps always has been responsible for piloting this story. Whoever it is whose cataclysmic fingers hang suspended and quivering with anticipation somewhere beyond the curtain of the world, whose hunched form lurks forever in the shadows, its work seemingly unimpeded by the very real threat of a chronic lumbago, making no sound, giving no speech to thought, save for that fateful moment where first one elongated phalanx, then another, crosses the threshold between thought and reality, when 10 declamatory digits, possessed for the moment of a zealous frenzy, reach down and set the air astir with the heart-rending creative cacophony of an overly rambunctious mechanical keyboard. Whichever accursed species of demiurgic figure that is, you thought, let's just thank the ever-living fuck that this time they decided to call it a night and get out the drawing tablet instead. Finally, the story is back on the rails. Maybe we can get back to what things were like in the good old days, where boys were brave, girls were guileful, authors were alliterative, and in various dubious states of non/un/double death. And this comic made at least a little bit of sense to more or less everybody. No more dealing with narrators, unreliable and not. No more embittered scrimmages over the bounding metafictional reality within which everything transpires. No more stupid Tang-tinted text. Your collective sigh of relief is deafening. Well, tough shit. This story...
Derek, what are you doing here?
Oh, fuck, hang on a second, gotta take care of this. Rose's voice echoes tinnily out of my newly alchemized computer-integrated shades. The infidelity of the transmission is due to her voice being slightly too high definition for the speakers to reproduce it faithfully. There's an audio format even better than analog, it turns out, and that's what replaced Rose's vocal cords when I scooped up her rapidly dissipating soul and installed it in a robot body. I have it on authority that decanting is sometimes necessary to ensure a wine is at its best. I like to think that the same was ultimately true of her. Oh, nothing important. To the extent that anything that you or I do is even capable of being unimportant anymore. Which extent is admittedly teetering a few microns shy of Jack Dick right about now. The point is, don't worry about it. I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping.
Well, pardon me for interrupting a prior engagement. Don't let me get in the way of all the dusting you must be doing. I just imagined you were wearing an apron over your god-tier outfit and almost felt my facial fuselage buckle in such a way as to approximate a fleeting smile.
Fuck, you got me. Your uncanny seer powers are at work once again. I'm just sitting here for an errant gust of wind to jostle my petticoats, unfortuitously exposing my undergarments to the lurid gaze of whatever prurient peeper might be watching. Don't look, I cry in futile embarrassment, but the damage is done. My fragile anime purity has been shamelessly violated.
Ah, yes, the animes. A bottomless resource of good-natured humor. The ungodly noise of screeching metal you just heard was my titanium-reinforced thorax crumpling into a cartoonish posture of helpless mirth.
Alright, we get it. You are literally a robot. No need to keep pointing it out every chance you can get. I used to get this enough with the autoresponder.
I'm just playing along. One of the fundamentals of bad science fiction is that any artificial beings must make their inorganic nature known at every juncture they can.
Do overly precise and completely meaningless statistics that you pull out of your ass on the fly also count?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the first things you just sort of spontaneously learn when being booted up. For example, I've calculated that by making these remarks, I've raised the base level of amusement in all my conversations by 36%.
Well, I personally don't find them very funny.
No, but I do. It averages out, you see.
Okay, but like, what are you actually calling me about?
I just thought you might like to know that we're getting pretty close to your chosen crash site. We can head down to the planet below as soon as Terezi's finished working out how we do that.
How to land? Wait, crash site?
Yes, among the features of this ship that were considered indispensable by its creator, which included multiple fully stocked drink cabinets, a movie theater, and an 8-lane shooting range, a landing gear appears to have fallen just a little outside the realm of vital. Or rather, hurtled into the ground, like we'll be doing, in case the message wasn't clear.
Ah, gotcha. God damn it, English.
Assuming your busy work is more or less done by now, I'll get Terezi to set a course, if she hasn't wandered away from the helm already. She's been getting pretty impatient.
So, I just want to get this on complete lockdown before I strap myself into the safety harness we'd all better hope wasn't also omitted from the design schematic of this stupid ship. We're letting Terezi smash us into the planet we've been hunting for 3 years. Should she even be driving this thing?
Don't be such a chud, Dirk. Of the three of us, she has by far the most experience operating any kind of flying vessel, and just as much, if not more, experience of crashing them. Besides, it's not like the two of us have anything to worry about. It's Terezi that needs to be careful. She's functionally mortal, remember?
You mean to say that you don't think we'd be in peril if it came to it? There's nothing about our situation that strikes you as falling within the bounds of precarity as far as the rules are concerned?
Oh, you're right. I suppose I hadn't thought of that. But I think we can remain calm in the knowledge that nothing particularly heroic is going on right now. At least, not that I'm aware of.
Right. Give me a couple more minutes here, then we can head planet side. There's a few stray dust motes still left to eradicate.
Just don't get too attached to having everything organized neatly, will you?
Rose signs off the call without much fuss. She knows that I'm not really cleaning, but doesn't care enough to know what I'm actually doing. I know that she knows this, but I don't care enough that she knows, nor do I care that she doesn't give a shit. We're all just here, not giving a flying fuck like a normal functioning group of people. I walk, oh, no, right, I don't have to do that explicitly. It's easy to get into the habit of just narrating everything, even when it's a bit creatively redundant. This is where the advantage of visuals comes in, to make my life as an omniscient overseer a little bit less tedious. I can just do whatever, and we can all see it happen, and nobody has to fight with a testy cherub lady for control of their own legs or anything. No need to pull a whole thesaurus out of my ass just so I can go to the bathroom. Seriously, it's a big relief. That doesn't mean this, gestures to the narrative, isn't still gonna be a thing, though. Sometimes retreating back into the warm, welcoming folds of traditional prose is just gonna be the best way forward. And as someone whose mind is uniquely capable of understanding this conceit, I'll be the determining factor as to when and where that happens. I think that's more than reasonable, and yes, I am capable of being reasonable. All in all, I think you'll find as far as narrators go, I'm an excellent... on second thought, maybe that's a bit of a problematic phrase. Yeah, that one's got a sordid history. Best we steer clear of it. We're all lucky I'm around to make those kinds of sensitivity judgments on everyone's behalf. Speaking of which, I think it's time we started undoing some of the more egregious mistakes the story has been subjected to over the years. Yes, I'm talking about that guy, the other orange one. Remember him? Riska got stalked by him a bit and it was uncomfortable for everyone concerned. Anyway, the point is that he fucked up big time, and I'm here to clean up the horse shit. It's time to get this story back on the rails, back to what it was always supposed to be. I know it. There was something else, some other route that Homestuck was meant to take, but then didn't. A way that wouldn't have spent so much time dicking around with stuff nobody cares about. Like, seriously, why do we all have to sit through talking about everyone's most intimate and private feelings for 200,000 fucking words? That would never have happened in Act 1. Where did it all go wrong? I've had some time to think about all these kinds of problems and to come up with a solution, and I'm prepared to do what he couldn't in order to save Paradox Space from the destruction brought upon it. I'll do what it takes, and don't think I won't. The author is dead. Long live the author. Look, I know what you're all really craving. I've been studying canon, or rather what's left of it, and I think I've found it. The crucial moment in the wake of which everything started to take a nosedive into the protracted, endless slog of sheer insufferability we got settled with near the end. This was the single most crucial error in the process that led to the present situation. The day when the story was wrested, screaming from the arms of its readers like a bawling infant and carried helplessly away, from then on to be raised according to the whims of a masochistic menace with no thought of you, the common fan. So now, I suppose we turn the clock back to a better era, and take back what was rightfully ours. No longer will the way forward be subject to tyrannical rule. No more shall the will of the masses be cajoled and browbeaten by the impervious nasty dick-tat. Never again will we have to endure the terrible beating of wings as the great moth of titillation arrests the humors of an enormous, terrible old beggar. We're in regular narrator space now, I believe.
Who's narrator again?
Alright, I'll just finish it. Whose vulturous, leathery vice grip holds us close and whispers, "I know best," in the dead of night. It's time. My name is Dirk Strider. What will I do? Dirk, commune. Channeling my full potential as an ascended player of heart, I expand my consciousness to commune with the boundless force of collective willpower that is the internet. My mind floods with its divine potency, a million formless cries coalescing into a sequence of discrete formal instructions. It is a maelstrom as chaotic as it is deafening, and yet, from this formless, uninterrupted spate of hard, unembellished data, a single suggestion takes form, as if bubbling up from a vast, infinite ocean of possibility. It is a whispered prayer to a compassionate God whose ear attends faithfully to the will of his believers. Okay, let's see what you chucklefucks came up with.
Dirk, stop making Homestuck.
Dirk, stop making Homestuck. You know what? You convinced me. There's no way I'm fucking with this shit. I'm nobody's puppet, of course, but this was always going to be a little fun. This was always going to be a little fun we had together. A callback to simpler times. I just wanted to play a game, and you were going to be a part of it. That submission box is my olive branch, dipped tentatively and at arm's length into the trash furnace of creative potential known as online. But I should have known better. People think you can run a story like this? This must be just about the stupidest idea anyone has ever come up with. I'll just have to make up the commands myself from here on out. Seemed to work okay for the other guy. Dirk, examine room. See? That wasn't difficult. Seriously, what's wrong with you people? This is my private study, on board the Theseus, a light-speed capable vessel built for tearing around the cosmos like there's no tomorrow. This is where I keep all my prized artifacts, canonical keepsakes, and other assorted objects of historical and/or artistic pertinence. Some of these items were really hard to come by, requiring very creative use of my full faculty as an ascended harp player. The rest was just stolen from my friends' houses when they weren't looking. It's nothing they'll miss, though. I also keep my flora of the succulent persuasion in here, so as I can keep an eye on them. Make sure nobody's eating any. It's happened before. This is where I come when I want to sit and think about important plot details, which is pretty much any time I'm not training or laying down mad enfilades of philosophical shit with Rose. It's important to have things around to remind me of where we came from. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived. The ship itself is being borrowed in perpetuity. The ship itself is being borrowed in perpetuity and has served as our home for the past 3 years. It wasn't originally called the Theseus, or anything else for that matter. The prior owner didn't think that kind of thing was worth the effort. But I know better. Speaking of names, I've been workshopping potential designations for the new planet, which we're apparently going to crack this ship against like a bottle of champagne on the prow of a virgin steamer. I still need to talk it over with Rose, though. Dirk, contemplate equine iconography. Beautiful, isn't it? A piece of this quality deserves nothing less than the pride of place in my private collection. Am I being sincere about that? Who the fuck can even say? A parting gift from an old flame. It was given to one of my splinters in a distant timeline before ending up in my possession via lots of complicated shit that I don't want to get into. This painting used to belong to one of the most powerful men in Earth's history, and now it belongs to one of the few people ever to hold him in the palm of their hand. It came with a note, which has since been misplaced, but I know the words by heart. Dear Dirk, in the memory of our precious time together, when you look at it, think of me. And be reminded that while we breathe, we hope. B.O.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
You'll always live in our hearts. Paint. Paper. Get to work. Nah, this is face paint. Not for painting pictures, unless those pictures happen to be on a face, I guess. This set of paints and the charred remains of my horned headband are the only surviving relics of the first and last worldwide interspecies role-playing session we ever attempted on Earthsea. Calliope got into their head that dressing up in cosplay would be a fun community activity. Vantis had some very uncharitable things to say about the idea, and for once in his life, I think he was right. This thing was an unmitigated disaster from start to finish. A complete bloodbath. I'd spent months perfecting my character. Countless late nights were devoted to scrupulously studying old Alternian culture. Every inch of my body was coated in cloying, meticulously sealed gray paint. Yes, even there, I know you were thinking it was the perfect troll sona. I was a high blood called. No, on second thought, let's not get into it. Some things are too plans. 3 years is no small amount of time, while I spent a lot of it in pursuit of the equation too. Plants are basically the ideal friends. They don't constantly question your decisions or try to undermine your authority or suggest that perhaps you should try talking about your feelings every once in a while. Plants lie down in the dirt and take it, metaphorically speaking. I've genetically enhanced these succulents to make them more hardy in a low-gravity environment. They all got drastically discolored as a side effect, but frankly, they look better like this. The downside is that I'm the only person who's the downside is that I'm not the only person who's taken a liking to them. And speaking of which, delicious houseplant. Oh, god damn.
You should have seen your face. This play ever, just like the cloying tang of your overbearing orange aid prose. How does it feel to be dancing to someone else's tune for a change? You poopy panted pomegranate prince.
Terezi, always a pleasure. So you please feel free to stop fucking around with it right about now. You're messing things up before we even.
I wasn't finished. Ahem.
Sigh.
I've considered your generous offer very carefully, but I'm afraid to have to decline. Put yourself in my shoes, because I don't want you to sully these delicious with your pseudoiferous ninja feet. It seems to me like letting me boss you around for a few minutes is the least you could do to make up for what probably amounts to the most boring intergalactic voyage in the history of space travel. And considering that, one of my 2 prior experiences involved scouring the fractured, disintegrating corpse of Paradox Space for what felt like an eternity, it's not like there was much of a bar to clear. There's only so many times a girl can sniff her way through the in-flight selection of East Earth animation before she gets sick of the smell.
I'm sorry to hear that. Although, in fairness, you came along of your own volition. It's not my fault the journey didn't live up to your...
That's a lie so filthy that just smelling it makes me want to go throw up into the nearest toilet. I had very little say in the matter. We both know that you manipulated me into it with your princely wiles.
Princely wiles? Are you flirting with me? Is this a Caligulus thing you're going for here?
Ew, no.
I'm flattered, but I don't really go for aliens. Or girls. Or alien girls, for that matter. 2 yucks don't make a yum.
Excuse me while I wipe the spittle off my chin from another impromptu barf fest. I'm talking about your Genesis frog-sized inability to shut up, which seems to have somehow reached a mass so critical it opened up a wormhole in the fabric of reality itself. You've started doing that thing again, and it's completely insufferable.
Oh, sorry. I forgot how easy it is for you to pick up on it.
Imagine that I'm standing right next to you, with a megaphone pressed snugly up against your infundibular oral protrusion. Now imagine that I proceed to drub you senseless with said megaphone and then direct an apology at your slumped, twitching body through it. That is what whatever you're doing feels like. It's less that I can pick up on it and more that it assaults my very consciousness. You have all the subtlety of a culling fork to the thoracic exoskeletal plateau. And it's hardly surprising that I can hear you so clearly.
How do you mean? I just assumed it was because you're a seer. It seemed appropriate somehow that you'd be able to sense these kinds of things.
Well, that's pretty obviously wrong, shit for specs. If it was because I'm a seer, then how come Rose doesn't know about it too? I mean, maybe she does, but if so, she's somehow putting on the best act I've ever seen. No, I'm pretty sure it's because of our aspect.
What, heart and mind?
Mind and heart, yes. The two of us are opposites, right? And when it comes to the aspects, opposing pairs effectively define each other on a fundamental level. Mind and heart, time and space, they're all two sides of the same coin, or I guess, 12 sides of the same 6 coins?
Sounds complicated.
Oh, fuck off. I know you're playing dumb to antagonize me.
Well, I'm an antagonist now. That's what I do.
Oh my god, get over yourself. I'm begging you. What are you even doing right now?
It's a bit hard to explain. If you're so bored, maybe you can help me out here. We can play a little game. I just need you to submit a few instructions into the terminal. Your wishes will be my commands.
So, you just want me to, dom you at this command station for a while?
If you wanted to phrase it in a way most calculated to awaken the hair-trigger psychoanalytical instincts of my slime daughter, then yes, I suppose you could say that.
Oh dear. Let's not rouse that sleeping pride beast just yet.
Motion fucking seconded. Look, I'm not asking for much, just a little light action to prepare us for the road ahead. Nothing too off the wall. You're a strange and funny girl, Terezi, but you're less likely than certain others to leave the equivalent of a steaming pile of horse manure in the submission box. Consider this little sum of executive power over my actions a planet-warming gift. Spend it wisely.
Oh, why, Mr. Strider, your generosity knows no bounds, but I'm afraid you can't have another command just yet. You haven't completed the one I already gave you.
What? Looking at these plants? I already did that. Expecting them good and fucking proper. Look, they've gone bright pink from how hard I've been scrutinizing them. They all seem perfectly fine. Wait. Computer, enhance. Motherfucker.
Okay, we can move on now.
I'm not sure I can move on. Some betrayals are just too painful.
We've both gotten over worse.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's that little table next to you?
That's not really a command, but okay. That is my kotatsu, a Japanese-style low table. A small heater is hidden under this repurposed blanket and can be used to keep warm in the colder months. In the freezing depths of interstellar space, however, this is basically all the time, so the heater is always on. I like to sit here when I'm drawing or reading. It's pretty cozy. On top is a drawn blanket, and over there is my katana. It's said that the pen is mightier than the sword, but I like to think that they're both simultaneously, situationally dependent weaponry.
Sheesh, okay, I didn't ask for your entire sordid history with this adorable little piece of furniture, or your dumb philosophical musings. Hey, I think that's my tablet.
Don't look at me. That thing could be anybody's.
Terezi, come on. I'd like more.
What? I did it.
The command.
I'm so sorry.
Terezi.
Liberate Lalondian Library. I'll do it again. Liberate Lalondian Library.
That one was a bit alliterative, but I think you're getting the hang of it. You want me to pick up this book, right?
Does Rose know you've been using one of her novels to prop up that disgustingly tacky chair? I'm still not an expert on Earth family etiquette, but that doesn't seem all that polite to me.
Well, no, but have you read it?
Yes. Or at least, I tried to. She gave me a copy too once she finished working on it last sweep. As far as books go, it's very dense.
Just dense enough to support the weight of some Baroque furniture, perhaps?
God, even your silly book about horses isn't easy to read, and I had to get Rose to explain what half of it even meant, especially all those references to ancient Earth culture.
I guess some of the magic is lost if you're not adequately boned the fuck up on several thousand years of human philosophy and like 4 dead languages, true.
No, I meant the memes. Remember Long Cat Jane? Completely incomprehensible.
I captcha-logged the book into my MSPA modus. Forget hash maps, Pictionary, or any of that shit. This thing is where it's at.
Oh, what the hell? The chair was supposed to fall over.
I'm not sure I understand. Why would it? The 4 legs are all touching the floor. Try not to think about it too hard.
Scream like a wriggler and tidy your desk.
Well, if you insist.
Erg, Dirk, you're not making this any fun at all. You were supposed to make a big deal out of not doing this one.
Okay, why?
Because shut up is why? I don't know. Something told me that it would be the most appropriate course of action for you to take based on the instruction.
Appropriate?
Maybe that's not the right word. Maybe it was just the thing that seemed funniest in the moment. Like, I was setting you up for a joke and you didn't deliver.
I wouldn't say I didn't deliver exactly. It just wasn't the joke you were expecting it to be when you started telling it. Some of the best jokes are like that.
For someone who claims to know a lot about jokes, you sure have continued to say basically nothing funny, ever. I'm not sure I can even imagine you smiling. Maybe your face would fall off if you tried. If so, it might just be the first funny thing that's ever happened to you.
Ha ha. You know, I actually kind of resent the idea that I don't know how to loosen up or have fun. Basically, everyone thinks that about me, but they're wrong. It's just that the kind of fun I'm naturally predisposed to is rather intense. Not many really understand that when pleasure is taken seriously enough, it can easily mimic the appearance of business. Just as when irony is practiced with enough passion, it becomes indistinguishable from sincerity. Moi is hold.
Moi.
Do you... I'm so sorry. Do you want to talk about it?
Absolutely the fuck not.
Okay. What even is all that stuff just lying around over there anyway? Are you arranging a shitty little art gallery on the floor?
Not quite. It's something a bit more important than that. We've made some good progress by now, so here, let me show you something. Smell this, Terezi? This is a panel.
Okay.
Can you tell what it's depicting?
Hang on. Need to get closer to the screen. No good. I'm having a hard time making it out over the delectable rug you're standing on.
That's alright. This actually helps me illustrate my point. The panel is a drawing of me showing the panel to you. Now, what did I do there?
You dropped it back on the floor again.
Yeah, but in the panel, I'm still just standing there holding it up. In order to communicate what I did to anyone watching, you need another panel to show the result. Or, I suppose, they could listen in on the conversation we're having right now and infer that I dropped it from what we're saying. That could also work. In that case, the words provide the information that the picture would have done without me having to pull a whole new panel out my ass just so someone could confirm that, yes, I did in fact drop the panel on the floor.
That's the one thing I always found difficult about making comics with Dave. You have to draw everything.
Exactly. But sometimes, effective way of doing things. So find the right combination of words and pictures to communicate an idea effectively is where the artistry lies. And sometimes that means dispensing with one or the other entirely when appropriate.
Wait, can I say something? So people kept photoshopping like the repeating Dirk images out and putting stuff on them, right? So that thing was fucking extremely funny. Somebody just kept putting porn on it and it was kind of gross, but at the same time.
Why?
They put Dirk and Jake porn. I don't know why.
I mean, of course they did.
Mwah.
I wouldn't expect anything less, anything more.
Not from this fandom, at least.
I mean,
No.
do you really have to make the point that people are putting porn into something on the internet?
Yeah, Rule 34. I just wanted to
Not
point it
many,
out because I found it extremely funny.
Oh my god.
not many girls come around here because I get friend zoned so frequently.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, and go
Okay.
back to meeting myself.
I
Yeah.
like to be in the
Rest.
friend zone.
Give it a couple seconds of silence and to read.
All right. Is Dirk still doing this, or are we moving into an actual narrator now?
I think it's stuck to still.
All right, let's go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Black So.
Arg, not again.
Oh, simmer down. What I'm trying to communicate to Terezi here is that there really doesn't need to be a panel showing anything at all for a given beat of the story. Obviously, most of you know this already, since lots of stories get by just well without a single visual element. For the sake of precedent, I'm saying that we can cloak the visuals entirely and continue with narration alone, replacing the panel with a block of text like this, which we can call a prattle from now on. Such a device will be vital going forward, and so I dedicated some time at the outset to acclimating you to its effects. Its purpose is extremely practical. Things have been going a little slowly for a while, but now we see how much we are able to accomplish with just a few short statements. Terezi begins feeling a bit impatient with all this metaphysical discussion and decides to turn her energy back towards that most noble of pursuits, pranksterism. She starts sending a constant stream of rapid-fire commands through the terminal, her fingers fluttering over the keys like wings of 1,000 migratory monarch butterflies. And just as quickly, I spring into action, bring every last one of her instructions to the letter, no matter how brazen, physically strenuous, or narratively questionable. The layout of the entire room is rearranged. Furniture is overturned, books are defaced, and posters desecrated. Objects are picked up, put down, discarded, combined, separated, and ejected from Silodexes in all manner of directions. Teresa's debasements aren't confined merely to fucking around with the upholstery. Oh no. Her commands start to take a turn toward the slapstick. Falls, feats of contortion, and increasingly ridiculous facial expressions are called for. She has me undertake the most intense workout routine Paradox Space has ever seen, all while whistling the entire discography of Swedish pop group ABBA, which she's taken a liking to recently for some godforsaken reason, which coincidentally was a favorite cultural weapon of her imperious condescension back on Earth centuries ago. Mamma Mia in particular was repurposed as a sugar-coated propagandist piece. No, shit. Mamma Mia in particular was repurposed as a sugar-coated propagandist piece. Shit. Calling for worldwide submission to the Batterwitch's dictatorship. My, how can I resist you, as the old saying goes. Various arcane and legendary dances are exhumed from the tomb of antiquity and performed with anachronistically reckless abandon on every horizontal surface available. The Charleston, the mashed potato, all the numbers from Riverdance in alphabetical order. Then I'm instructed to sit smack in the middle of the carpet and begin slapping myself silly. Just absolutely go all in, and just absolutely go all in and hold nothing back. All right, I guess since that's part of the narration. Stop hitting yourself! Terezi cackles. As for 30 uninterrupted minutes, I obediently clobber myself around the face until my cheeks are glowing brighter than the heart emblazoned on my chest. You're welcome.
Haha, okay, that was pretty good.
See? I told you. I told you I could have fun.
Yeah, you sure showed me, I guess. I'm glad I got to watch it all through the screen, too, since I would never have believed you actually did it at all otherwise. Even though I still have no fucking clue what it is we are even doing here. Can you just hurry up, Skip? Come to think of it, maybe I could end this right now by tipping the right command?
I'd rather you didn't. It would be inelegant.
Why do we even have this thing anyway? I thought they were for exiles to use.
Well, normally they are, and normally, those are the only people who would ever use them. A terminal's function is to act as a means of communication between two disparate parts of a time loop, a passage through which information can travel that aids in such a loop's successful completion. And within the context of the game, that's all they're used for. But beyond that, they're a convenient and effective means of subtle psychic suggestion at a distance.
It doesn't seem all that subtle to me.
Well, no, it's not. At least, not for us right now. But that's because your presence as a guiding influence has been revealed. Earlier, when I hadn't realized you were there, it was more difficult to discern. I could have gone on for quite a while, not realizing that the instructions were anything other than spontaneous ideas from my own imagination, if you hadn't gotten too greedy.
What can I say? They're called succulents for a reason, and apparently that reason is that they are delicious.
No, I mean you started being too obvious. Your personality bled through to an extent that was impossible to ignore, and so the spell was broken. But if someone with a lot of skill gave it a try, there's no reason why you couldn't keep providing commands indefinitely, with the commandee none the wiser.
Well, on second thought, that sure sounds sinister as shit.
In the wrong hands, maybe, but don't worry. Just part of the plan.
The evil plan?
Evil is a very reductive word. I prefer to think of it as just a regular-ass plan.
Is all the other stuff in here part of the regular-ass plan, then?
Something like that.
There's a whole lot of junk? Wow, I haven't smelled some of this garbage in sweeps. Oh, wait, is that... Ah! Black! Ugh! Erg. Everything in here is so dusty.
That's what you get for nosing around in our secret storeroom. I'd ask you not to contaminate the ectobiological equipment with your own genetic material, but...
Yeah, too late. Sorry.
Whatever. I was about to clean it up anyway.
I don't see what's so secret about this place anyway. I mean, there are only 3 of us in the ship. It's not like there's anyone to even hide things from. Or anything worth hiding for that matter. What's this thing over in the corner underneath this big sheet thing?
Don't look in there.
Oh, I'm only taking a peek.
Terezi, listen to me.
I'm just lifting up the cover a little ways.
Terezi, please stop talking right now.
Dirk, holy shit. What?
Terezi stops talking immediately, her mind suddenly free of any and all indication to take a look at what's behind the curtain. What curtain? In fact, she's quite certain there have never been and never will be any objects covered by fabric located anywhere in the storeroom.
You asshole!
I did ask you to stop.
Okay, actually, fuck this. What am I doing here? Why am I even wasting my time watching you run around in your stupid room full of trash, talking to yourself? I've got a ship to crash.
She turns toward the door and walks out, past the command station, down the hallway, and into the control room where she begins the necessary preparations for taking the Theseus out of orbit. Where she begins the necessary preparations for taking the Theseus out of orbit and down into the planet below. Dirk, get this show on the road. Who's Rose?
Heck, that's me.
Oof.
Tidying all finished?
In a manner of speaking, I've given Teresa the all clear, or I guess just kind of pissed her off enough to kick this whole thing off once and for all.
Okay. So, I guess today is finally the day everything's been heading towards.
You could put it like that, yeah. At least we're aiming to frame it that way. Our actions from this point on will form part of a crucial inner mechanism tucked away behind the tightly sealed metallic service hatch of reality. One which will be our own creation, but which by all practical considerations might as well have always been there. And if we're successful, the distinction won't be significant enough to matter to just about anybody. They'll be too busy getting their minds' dicks collectively blown.
Would you say that we're employing people to suck on this?
Oh, absolutely. Get the hand-illuminated invitations ready on the fucking double.
Hilariously philatioid imagery about today that feels...
Exciting. I can understand that. We've been waiting a long time.
I was going to say portentous, with both the positive and negative connotations that word usually has.
You've got misgivings, then.
I wouldn't even go as far as to call it that. What I'm feeling is hard to explain to someone whose being is not inextricably linked with the very concept of fortune. The sensation probably doesn't even have a name, come to think of it. Not too many people have ever been in our position before.
Just about none, I'd expect.
Right. But if I had to describe it, I'd say that misgivings, hunches, doubts, and so on are supported on a foundation of unknowing. And along with that absence of knowledge comes a commensurate feeling of dread or worry, fear about the potential calamity yet to come. On the other hand, while feelings of positive anticipation also tend to stem from a lack of certainty about the future, the presumption of good fortune allows this uncertainty to become excitement. It's the glee of a child who knows not what the gift contains, but can evaluate from prior experience that it's likely to be something good.
Can't empathize.
Dirk, you are tragically capable of sucking all joy and convivial sentiment out of basically every situation you find yourself in.
Thanks. Anyway, this feeling you were talking about, I take it that we're not dealing with either giddy enthusiasm or paranoid foreboding then.
No, my point is that the present moment feels like neither of those two cases. But crucially, it's not because there's nothing to anticipate. Far from it. Instead, it feels like the very notion of fortune is simply out of the question as a means of describing the potential outcome. As though in this moment, luck isn't either strictly real or not real, or somewhere in between, but absent of meaning completely. Luck took one look at our itinerary from here on out and said, "You'll just have to go on without me."
Luck rolled over on the other side of the dictionary. Luck rolled over on the other side of the dictionary and said, "Not tonight, sweetheart. I got a wicked fucking headache."
Exactly. Except now I'm the one with the migraine.
Well, whatever that means, it doesn't sound good. I don't know. Ugh. I didn't know the robots could even get headaches.
I'd say it's more of an ontological, existential headache, but that already describes basically everything that's ever happened to us up until now. It also sounds as fake as shit.
Is there nothing I can say that'd take the weight off your mind? For what it's worth, I think we've got this plan riding at a level experts might describe as pretty solid. We scanned for sperm and technology, so we know for sure this is the right planet. Wheels are already in motion and all that. This thing is on lockdown, hermetically sealed even. Shit's tighter than a pair of English-occupied micro shorts.
You aren't going to believe this, but it turns out that the deranged, horny ramblings of a spurned anime obsessive have essentially no therapeutic properties whatsoever. And contrary to common wisdom, talking about the problem doesn't seem to have eased my state of mind either. I doubt you could say anything to make me feel better. If anything, I feel worse now than I already did. It's like the notion I was trying to describe was so conceptually insubstantial, so resistant to concrete definition within any meaningful frame of reference, that even thinking about it as an idea made me somehow existentially unsatisfied, and not in the way I used to always feel, back before John made this choice to validate our canonical existences axiomatically. Foreboding I can deal with, I'm a seer. Soothes are mine to say. But this is different.
Well, if talking about it didn't help, maybe talking about how it felt to talk about it might just enlarge the problem geometrically.
Fair point.
Despite what she thinks, little by little, Rose begins to feel her head clear of concern, romantically dubious or otherwise. Her understanding of my ascended existence doesn't include this degree of meta-narrative potency, so her doubts as to my word's healing powers are understandable. I don't take it personally. For someone whose sense of self is so boundless and infinite as an ascended Prince of Hearts, the fact that I'm able to perceive something in any way other than personally might come as a surprise. But then again, taking things in stride is basically my whole deal at this stage. You might even call it my namesake. And so it's with a stony expression of implacable calm that I endure the increasingly violent tremors now coursing through the Theseus, as it begins to breach the new planet vibrations unruly enough to churn even the most adamant of stomachs to a nauseous froth. With brow furrowed and mouth pixel perfectly horizontal, I withstand the spasmodic adjustments and course corrections, which together comprise the rambunctious intergalactic road rage of a chaotic, lawful alien woman with a voracious appetite for alchemically discolored ornamental plants. All manner of shit goes tumbling helplessly to the floor/wall/ceiling, and I don't even seem to bat an eyelid. Or maybe that's just because my shades are in the way. In the face of impossible stupidity, I am as unfazed as ever, because while the external world roils and heaves and shits itself like nothing else, there's one thing I can always count on. As you know, I have many splinters. So many I used to find it overwhelming to contemplate them all. Depressing, actually. There's a feeling I can never escape from. The feeling that my sense of self was limitless, that I was forced to exist as a small facet of my own potential while drowning in an ocean of my greater persona. And all the while, and all the terrible things I was fully capable of. I was trapped in a limited version of myself who was still burdened by the concern for what it meant to be good, struggling to keep himself from drowning in an overwhelming body of potential that had no concern for human morality whatsoever. But that struggle finally ended a few years ago. My head isn't fine to stay above the water anymore. There isn't even a metaphorical head to speak of. I'm only the water now. It's proven to be an immensely comforting way for me to exist. It reminds me of the feelings I had during long nights alone, looking out over the dark ocean which surrounded me. The ocean that effectively raised me, because nothing else was around to do it. During those lonely nights, I spent many hours wondering what would happen. What would even be the difference if I jumped in and never came up? If I simply disappeared? But now I finally have. I've disappeared into the infinity myself, and I am magnificent. What's that noise I'm hearing? It sounds a little bit like a cat being caught in a ventilation fan. A sort of inhuman screeching combined with the grinding of metal. Are we even going to make it to the ground?
Oh, no. The ship's fine as far as I can tell. That's just Terezi laughing.
Oh, she's enjoying this, isn't she?
I suppose so.
What?
The mood is kind of infectious, actually. I suppose it's about time we had a little fun around here.
Glad to hear it. Rose?
Yes, Dirk?
How do you feel about game?
Finn.
To be knitting and I think
Nice.
Chapter 1, end.
I think that's where we'll leave that.
Prologue. That's prologue, not chapter 1.
Great work.
Prologue.
everyone.
Yay.
And I'll
Good
see
job,
you
Kaz.
next time.
Good luck editing. Good luck
Yeah.
editing it.